From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to beat the champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Beat the Champ with Janelle Sabin and Hall of Fame bowler Sue Novoitsky. My name is Paul Peck. We wrap up our month-long stay here in Jamestown, and as we always do in our fourth show, Sue, we always have a little fun, and today's fun is the Jamestown Bowling Company Junior Bowling Challenge. Got some great young bowlers. I'm looking forward to seeing the next generation of Beat the Champers.
I was going to say, our future Hall of Famers are here today, and they're going to take off against each other, bowling scratch the first match, handicap the second match, and then the two winners will face off against each other.
All right, so you got all those scoring issues there, Janelle. You're going to be in charge of that scoreboard for us?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right, so we've got some great young bowlers. We've had amazing bowling here in Jamestown. No reason to think that that won't continue again today. So let's get it going. It's the Junior Bowling Challenge.
Hi, I'm with Mary. Mary, what's your position here at Jamestown Bowling Company?
I'm office manager, but I also run the junior bowling program that I have for 25 years.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the format today that we've chosen for our fourth show.
We have three divisions. We have two from the 12 and up, and then we have one from the 8 and under, and one from the 9 to 11. The two 12 and up are going to be bowling each other the first match, and then the second match will be the 8 and under, the 9 to 11. And whoever wins each of those matches will bowl each other the third game.
Are we doing this scratch, or are they getting handicapped to balance out their averages?
They're getting handicapped to balance out their averages. It just worked out that the first match is a scratch match because their averages are exactly the same.
Okay, so we're supporting junior bowling, and this is our group today that we'll see bowling. So let's get rolling.
First match of our Junior Bowlers Championship is Taylor Smith on the left and Caleb Piazza on the right. Taylor is 17 years old from here in Jamestown. Caleb, 10 years old from here in Jamestown. So Taylor Smith will start things off for us on our Junior Bowling Challenge here at the Jamestown Bowling Company. And the first throw for Taylor Smith. And not a bad after skirting the left side there a little bit. She got the nice hook and roll in there and knocked 9 pins down.
Taylor has what we call a backup ball, which really
That's right.
It's really more natural for a woman to throw it that way, but it's the way our hands are formed. It's harder for us to throw it the traditional way. Women girls will tend to throw backup balls like that.
Well, we welcome in Jim Mee, who is the owner here of the Jamestown Bowling Company and certainly familiar with all of the bowlers as he has been during our entire run here in Jamestown. But Jim's going to help give us the scouting reports on some of these young bowlers and tell us a little bit about what else is going on as far as youth bowling here at the Jamestown Bowling Company. But as we get our first look at Caleb Piazza, Jim, these are some impressive young bowlers, aren't they?
Yes, they qualified for the show through their scores that they bowled last Saturday during their regular junior bowling league. So, we try to make it a little bit of competition instead of just, putting anybody in a show. So they actually qualified with their bowling ability.
And as it turns out, it's nice. We have 2 boys and 2 girls among our 4 finalists, and then we'll crown a champion in our final match. So how much is the junior bowling a part of what you do here at the Jamestown Bowling Company?
Actually, like years ago, we had a full house, 2 shifts, like most places probably did in Western New York. Now we're down to we have about 100 kids in our program, but the bright side is we're up like 25 kids this year. And we're pretty aggressive with it. We do a big mailing. We have a birthday club. We try to gather addresses and emails, like when we have birthday parties. And we get them all into our mailing list, and then hopefully we send out a couple thousand of them, and we might pick up 20, 30 kids, which is, it doesn't sound like much, but,
yeah, but
it's going in the right direction again.
And I think everybody is trying to get their kids out doing things more and get them away from sitting at home and playing video games and whatever else kids tend to want to do these days. And bowling is a great opportunity to get everybody out there and having some fun.
Yes, for sure. Like you said, that video game thing, I never did that when I was younger. Of course, now it's a lot more prevalent, but I'd rather see them getting, any kind of activity than that.
But that's where we started. We bowled junior leagues when we were kids and just took to it and have lifelong friends and, a lot of great experiences based on our bowling careers.
So here's another look at Caleb Piazza. As I mentioned, from right here in Jamestown, 10 years old. Favorite subject is math. Gotta love him, Caleb being a math fan. That was never my favorite subject, but good job there. Has an average of about 150, which is pretty impressive for a 10-year-old.
Definitely, and he's, he's a small guy, but he really gets, some nice rotation on the ball.
Good ball speed too.
A nice spare pickup there for Caleb Piazza. That's 2 spares in his first 2 frames. And of course, Caleb is a part of that Saturday Kids League that Jim mentioned. And here's Taylor Smith, a little bit older at 17. Favorite subject for her is part of is a BOCES small animal science class, which is really impressive. And maybe that's a direction that Taylor is going to want to take her next steps on to college and a profession, and she bowls in the Saturday League here as well too, and also part of the varsity bowling team in Jamestown High School, I would assume. So.
Yes. As a matter of fact, they're bowling right here, right now.
Is that her team?
It is.
There's Janelle Sabin on the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard, keeping track of the early results from our Junior Bowling Challenge as Taylor Smith bowls here in the 2nd frame. So Jim, as a pro shop guy and a coach and a bowling house owner, when you get the young bowlers like this, what are some of the things that you do both equipment-wise and coaching-wise to try to get them to improve their games and try to get them to maybe be that next level of bowlers who become league bowlers down the road?
Well, just to start the basics, obviously, like when they're small, you want to get the right weight ball in their hands so they're not throwing something that's too heavy where they can't handle and get discouraged and end up, not bowling for long. And we do have, luckily, we have some volunteer coaches that are here every Saturday, and I also try to get out and help with that a little bit. And so actually we like instead of just sending them out there, we actually have some pretty good guidance along the way for them. So.
You saw a nice strike by Caleb Piazza there in his last throw in the 3rd frame. Here's Taylor Smith. Got that backup ball working again. Oh, how about that for the late 7-10 synchronized fall?
I think what kind of throws them off is, in this case, we've had a lot of bowling and a lot of bowling on the left-hand side of the lane. And even though she's right-handed and she throws the backup ball, she uses the part of the lane that a left-handed bowler would use. Probably hooking a lot more than what she's used to.
I'm sure it is.
And there's another strike for Caleb.
Nice double.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
So now I would assume that obviously her lining up is more critical, because if she doesn't line up more to the left, then that backup, like we saw in one of her last throws, she was too much towards the middle and it backed up and missed the pin.
She lines up just like a left-hander does. She uses the targets that a left-hander does, and she's just basically doing what a left-hander would do.
So now for Taylor at 17 years old, is that going to change for her, or is she just going to continue bowling that way through most of her career?
Well, Taylor, she's pretty adamant on throwing it this way. She's pretty comfortable with it. She doesn't really, and I know I'm sure it's been brought up to try to change her, but she's pretty comfortable doing this, so I think she's going to stay with it.
Well, all kidding aside, she'll figure out that it's better to be on that side of the lane, and she'll go, why would I want to change anything, right?
Well, she's good at it, so if I were her, I wouldn't change it either. Her ball speed's good, her rotation's good.
Well, there's Caleb, and he's having himself one heck of a match. He's already almost at his average right now as he gets set to throw here in the 8th frame. He has risen to the occasion.
Wow.
Nice little gentle hook there right at the end.
I've got a strange question for you, Jim. Okay. It's kind of one of the things that has kind of bothered me about bowling in the last 20 years. In the junior program, do you teach them how to keep score, and do you think that the ability to keep score is important?
Can I interrupt and say yes, and can you help teach me how to do it?
No, you don't.
I definitely think it's important. To be honest with you, though, we don't have I'm not saying that we don't do it for, if a person's interested in really knowing how to keep score by hand, obviously, like we have some of the older score sheets, but we don't really have it's just everybody's so spoiled by,
right.
the automatics. But, but I agree that it is important and it should be put a little more stress on that.
I think about tennis, and I think about how you would watch a tennis match or be involved in tennis and have no idea what that scoring means because it's unorthodox. And our scoring system is the same. And I don't know of any junior league that teaches the kids to keep score, but it seems to me there should be some classroom portion of, and maybe they would have a bigger interest in bowling as they go on if you understood it a little better, because the things, the score sheet's doing it for you. We had a lot of fun keeping score when we were young. We kept score for ourselves, and you are more involved, and I just think your interest level in the game might be a little higher when something's not doing it for you. You just go up and throw the ball and come back and sit down.
Well, I agree. There used to be a bowling center in Jamestown. Like when I was bowling when I was 14, 15, and 16, there was a big national tournament that the bowlers from Detroit, Chicago, I mean, some of the best bowlers in the country would come to this tournament, and I used to keep score for them. And it was just, I learned so much by watching all these good bowlers. It really helped my game. And,
right, it does. It forces you to watch and pay attention.
It was excellent.
And it's not that this is my soapbox, but it's really one of those things that bother me, because I wonder what about, we've gone 20 years now, and we have seen a decline in juniors, and would there be better bowlers more interested in it if they really were forced to stay involved and understand it a little better?
Well, I agree. Yeah, we still have actually a local bowling center here. Matter of fact, it's in a little town I live. It's like 5 miles down the road. It's called Frewsburg. And they have a little 8-lane bowling center, and he still has the overheads where you write and it shows it up there. But it's actually, but you're still keeping a score by hand, obviously, but it shows it up overhead.
With the yellow, crayon?
With the grease pencil, yeah. They're hard to see compared to, of course, these are brand new 43-inch LED flash screens, so.
And they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I know.
It sounds to me like you need to design a course and volunteer yourself to be Western New York's teacher of how to keep kids how to keep score.
There we go.
Or it's a segment on one of our upcoming Beat the Champ shows, right? And I'm your first student. I'm telling you, I'm your first student. You and Janelle can teach Western New York how to keep score on bowling, and we can turn off the monitors when we come. How's that? Not ready for that yet?
No, I'm good with it. You can teach them how we used to string strikes together with little lines. We used to connect the strikes.
Well, as we're talking and as we're watching, we see Taylor puts the 138 on the board, but Caleb is going to find himself a winner here in this first match. Very impressive. Got a chance.
What did you say Caleb's average was?
150?
200?
No, I'll say he's going to get close to 200 here, isn't it?
It's in the high 140s, I believe.
Yeah, 149.
Boy, and he's picking up spares like that.
Wow.
He's done that 6 or 7 times, and that is really impressive.
Yeah, 8 pins for a 200 game.
Yeah, outstanding. Really,
my
great
money's
effort.
on Caleb shooting 200.
See, that's because you can keep score, unlike me. So you already know your answer. You know the answer to the question already. So
he needs 8 pins.
So we'll watch the final throw here for Caleb Piazza, and he's going to advance on to our championship match. And boy, he's been a lot of fun to watch. 10-year-old Caleb Piazza, up-and-coming bowler here in Jamestown.
That's why I stay out of the casino. Nice game.
198 for Caleb Piazza. Very impressive performance for him. We're going to see more of him. We've got a couple of more junior bowlers to come in our next match. It's the Jamestown Bowling Company's Junior Bowling Challenge. We're back with more right after this on Beat the Champ. Well, our first match is in the books here. Caleb Piazza moves on. A fun, exciting match against Taylor Smith. Taylor, how'd that go for you? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I was nervous, but I was glad to be here.
Right. How much do you enjoy this sport? How much is bowling a part of your life?
It's my whole world.
Right. That's great. Well, that's good. And because you did such a nice job there, Jimmy's got a little hardware to give you.
Thank you.
Thanks for bowling. I hope you had a great time.
Thank you.
All right, so Taylor Smith gets the first trophy of the day here. Got another match coming up between a couple of other outstanding junior bowlers. We'll do that next on Beat the Champ. right, so our second match of our junior bowling challenge here at the Jamestown Bowling Company. That is Willow Edens on the left, Colton Capolino on the right, and we get our first look to start things off at 7-year-old Willow Edens from right here in Jamestown, and she is ready to go. There she goes, right to the line, and we get our first throw from Willow, and she is fired up about this one. Jim Mee, the owner of the Jamestown Bowling Company, here with us as always, and again, we've been talking a little bit about the junior leagues. Tell us a little bit about Willow.
Well, I believe this is her first year in the program, so she's still learning, but she had a really good day to qualify for the show. So we'll see if she can pull off some of that magic today.
She's got a great look on her face, like this is as cool a thing as she's ever done, right?
Well, she gets to start off with a 90, which is always nice.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? That helps. All right, so now we get our first look at 12-year-old Colton James Capolino from right here in Jamestown. And look, he's got the routine down. He's got the rosin bag. He's looking up at the scoreboard. He's focused and ready, isn't he?
Looks like he's watched a little bowling before.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And another member of Jim's Saturday morning league here at the Jamestown Bowling Company. And Colton looks like a guy who's in training to be a regular league bowler of yours, isn't he?
Oh, definitely, yeah. He's already at his age. He's not a starter on a high school bowling team, but he actually made the team. So
as a 12-year-old.
Yes, so he'll probably next year after at the latest, he'll probably be a starter on the Jamestown High School bowling team.
That's fantastic. So Colton will fire things up here to finish off his first frame, and again, he is giving a lot of pins away here, so he'll have his work cut out for him. Favorite subject, music, is what Colton enjoys most.
Very close.
Almost got that nice spare. And now it's Willow's turn. Her favorite science, favorite subject in school. She's got her mom here, got her grandfather here to cheer her on, 70 years old from right here in Jamestown. Well, we talked in the first match, Jim, about, the junior bowling and the chance to get kids young and get them learning, but what we didn't talk about that I want you to talk a little more about is what kind of opportunities there are for young bowlers as they continue to improve and progress up in the sport.
Well, there's a lot of tournaments these days, and they normally come with some sort of scholarship money. I know the bowling proprietors of Western New York run quite a few tournaments a year, 4 or 5 tournaments where they can win anywhere from $100 scholarship all the way up to $1,000 scholarship. So obviously that really helps if they can, if they can accumulate some money over the years, winning some of these tournaments. And there's a lot of opportunities. Like when I was a junior bowler, we couldn't bowl for money or nothing like that because you'd be considered losing your amateur status. But now there's a program out there where you can actually bowl adult tournaments as long as they're what they call smart sanctioned. And if you win any money, it goes into your college scholarship account. And the reason I know so much about that is my son was heavily involved in that program. And when he started college at UB, he had like 35 grand in the bank, so just for that he could only use. Just
from scholarships for bowling? Yeah, wow, that's impressive.
Obviously, he was an exceptional bowler, so he won a lot at nationals. We drove to New Jersey, flew to Vegas. We went to Indianapolis 4 or 5 times, Chicago, Detroit. It was in Buffalo the one year when he was still a junior, so depending on if you get to a certain level, you can really accumulate some dollars that help you for college.
Have any of that around when you were getting started bowling?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Me neither.
With the price, with the expense of college these days, what a nice thing to have that money to contribute towards your schooling.
Well, it's great. My son's gone. He's gone 2.5 years to be a chemical engineer, and so far he has 0 debt.
That's outstanding
and a lot of
very
kids
unusual.
Can't say that these days.
Right. And all thanks to bowling, and all thanks to the success or whatever, all the dedication that Chad put into the sport to continue getting better and to continue growing in the sport. And look at that, it set him up in his life, like you said, to not have a whole lot of college debt, which is rare, even more rare as things move on in our world today. So last throw, you saw Colton get a strike. Let's find a little groove here. Another nice throw for Colton Capolino, who finished in first place in the Saturday Morning League a couple of years ago. And Also plays soccer and baseball and helps dad build hot rods, part of a car club, does some swimming. So Colton's a youngster at 12 years old that keeps himself busy.
I didn't see video games on there at all.
See, very nice, huh? No time with all the other stuff he's doing.
Very nice spare.
A nice spare pickup for Colton.
He made the adjustment. He left the same spare in the first frame, and he missed it. That time he knew he needed to move a little bit to get to the 3-pin to make that spare.
You see that coming from some of the young bowlers? The more they bowl, they're okay. I know what I need to do. I know my adjustment, and I know
There
what
we
needs
go.
to get taken. There's a
Awesome.
nice strike for Willow. A little
shot.
smile on the face and clap of the hands. Good job for her. Willow Edens with her first strike of the match. That's fantastic.
Nice.
But is that a sign to you that kids are starting to take it seriously when they can start making their own adjustments based on the coaching and the training that they've gotten?
Oh yes, definitely. And like I said, we have a pretty good program here. Where nice shot. We just don't send the kids out. We have structured league where they're on a team and all that, and they keep their averages, of course. But there's coaching going on the whole time they're bowling in league.
What are some of the things that you remember in your youth bowling days as far as coaching points that maybe you still even use today?
I remember it being structured and organized, and we'd have to all meet, and I bowled at Bull Inn. That's where and there was a man named Chuck that ran the program. We'd all have to sit down and say good afternoon, taught us manners, taught us respect for the equipment. Things that you really don't think about, but as you go through your years in bowling and you want to be respected, you don't kick the ball return, you don't say anything bad to your fellow bowlers, and it just teaches you respect. And those are lessons, a lot of lessons you learn in bowling you can carry out for the rest of your life, whether you become a Hall of Fame bowler or you just bowl for entertainment. You learn lessons that you carry all the way through in junior bowling.
Sportsmanship, being a good winner, being a good loser, how to work with teammates, how to listen to coaches, how to respect your opponents. All those things are qualities that you need in any walk of life, whether you're bowling or not.
How to keep score.
How to keep score. Math, right? Early math instructions. Right? Absolutely. See? It's all about bowling. Bowling teaches you everything. So I'm telling you, the more you keep bringing this up, the more we're going to figure out a way to start Aunt Sue's School of Bowling scoring. Here's Colton looking for some more, looking at least for the spare pickup here.
And that's a new bowling ball, so he's learning how to figure out
something else,
how to adjust with a new piece of equipment.
We're going to be back with more Beat the Champ bowling action in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
So we're heading towards the 8th frame here for Colton and Willow in this match of our junior bowlers showdown. There's the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. Janelle Sabin keeping busy as always, keeping you up to date on all of the details. Colton's got that good form going. Let's see if he can knock this one out. Almost, not bad. Not a bad little pickup for Colton Capolino. And this match, even with the handicap, is starting to get tight.
15 pins, he has a chance to pull it out here.
Let's see whether Willow can hold him off or not. When she gets that ball rolling down the middle, she's put some pins down. Still working on it, which is fun to watch.
You said that's a 6-pound ball?
6-pounder, right?
Like you said, Jim, in the early stages of her bowling career, and she's going to be a good one, and you can just tell the enthusiasm is a big part of that. She likes doing it, she has fun, and that's more than half the battle of getting them to be a good bowler.
Exactly.
So Willow will pop back over there, and Colton will get another chance here as we hit the 9th frame for Colton with a chance to knock some pins down here and pull out this one. Well, we had a great run here, our second visit here to the Jamestown Bowling Company, and we had some terrific bowling by our guys in June with the streaks of Chuck Jagosinski and Matt White, and then we had equally as good a bowling here over the last 3 previous weeks. Big strike there for Colton, but to see some of the bowling we got from Tony Dolan and then later from Terry Parson, who's going to continue to move on to next week's show, this place has been one of our better stops so far.
I appreciate that. I'm sure I'm going to hear from some of my Buffalo guys about the lefty thing, but it's just the way it works out sometimes.
Sure, you lefties stick together, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you can't control every factor, but we try to make it as fair as we can, and sometimes it's just how it goes.
Hey, any employee knows that they have to keep their boss happy, so your lane men know that they have to make it good on the left-hand side to keep you happy.
Something like that. I know that I've never ran the lane machine down the lane. I wouldn't even know how to do it, honestly.
You didn't turn off the 1/2 just so you can set it up for the lefties?
No.
Doesn't have that button on there, does it? So.
I'm sure they almost make one that'll do that these days. Those things are amazing what they can do. They should. They cost like $25,000, $30,000.
Well, you're right.
They walk from lane to lane by themselves without you.
They better be able to go stand behind the bar and drift and dish beers out when they're not oiling the lanes.
Hey, wait a minute. That's going to take jobs away.
No, you're right. That's true.
Yeah.
And Colton Capolino here in the 10th frame. Trying to get some more pins knocked down, post a good final score. Had a chance to pick up the spare here.
Looks like he's going to have enough pins to move on, though.
Yep, I think he's got it locked up.
Yes.
And just didn't get the hook on that one. But it's a 138 score up on the board for Colton Capolino, and that's going to advance him on to our championship match against Caleb Piazza. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch that, but a good performance by Colton and by Willow, a lot of fun to watch. We'll talk to Willow and get you ready for our championship match when Sue and Jim and myself return here to the Jamestown Bowling Company. You're watching Beat the Champ. Well, Willow, I don't know that I've seen a bowler with more enthusiasm and excitement than you. What is it that you love so much about bowling? Oh, come on. There's got to be something you really like about it, right? What's the most fun thing that you have when you're bowling?
Getting strikes.
Getting strikes. I think pretty much every bowler says that, right? I heard you were just here with one of your best friends. Is there somebody you want to say hello to out there in TV land? Somebody maybe named Dominic that you want to say hello to? Go ahead, look in the camera, give Dominic a nice big wave and a hello. All right, Mr. Me's got a little trophy, a little plaque for you too.
That was fun to watch you bowl. It was great. Congrats.
Well, thanks for being a part of the show. We had a lot of fun, and we know that you're going to keep doing very well as you learn your way through bowling here. It was a lot of fun to watch you bowl. So that's Willow Edens. We've got our championship match coming up between Caleb and Colton. We'll do that next on Beat the Champ.
Good job.
Oh, our competitors got their game faces on for our championship match. That's Caleb Piazza on the left, Colton Capolino on the right. It's the championship match of the Jamestown Bowling Company's Junior Bowling Challenge, and both of these guys were very impressive in advancing to this championship, and I'm looking forward to watching these two young bowlers dazzle us here, and we'll start off with 10-year-old Caleb Piazza.
So they compete in the same league on the same junior league?
Yeah, I mean, we have 7 divisions. They're probably pretty close. They're probably both preps. Like that's the 9 to 11 or 9 to 12 and then the ones on like the Bantams, the small kids only bowl 2 games. And then we have a junior division and a major division for the older kids. So. But our program has right now, we have a total of about 100 kids, which, and I know there's a lot of bowling centers, like even in Buffalo, that don't have that kind of program.
Tremendous.
Good spare pickup for Caleb Piazza in the first frame, and now we move over to Colton Capolino, and Jim, he is getting some pins here on the handicap, correct? At least the scoreboard showing me that.
Looks like 30.
So Colton will get 30 for the handicap here, so see if he can take advantage of that. 12 years old from Jamestown, as we mentioned. Nice form, nice style, and pretty good results there in his first frame. Does this take you back to your days, when your younger bowler days, when you watched some of these impressive youngsters, Sue? Is this take you back some of those memories of bowling with your mom and your dad and learning the game back in those days?
Yeah. They started me out bowling juniors similar to these kids, and I think it took a little time off, and then really got into it. Like bowling with my mom at Ideal, Kearns, where we're going to next month.
Right.
That's where I started bowling. I know we told that story last year.
Yep.
But
good spare pickup by Colton, by the way. So what it was, you said you stepped away from the game a little bit. What is it that got you back? Was it just being around your folks and being around your mom at Ideal Lanes?
Well, we started bowling on Sunday afternoons, my mom and I, for something to do. I really met a lot of people and bowled pretty well, and that's when Whitey, who owned Ideal,
Legendary Whitey Heidenberg.
Yeah, Heidenberg asked me to bowl on the Crush League, and I didn't really have the game that I have now. I mean, I really just spun the ball a lot, and I had this big hop in the middle of my approach. But I knocked down enough pins that they wanted me to bowl. And then I saw, I bowled with Brad Kaczewski, bowled for the men from Ideal, and some of the girls were very good, and I just wanted, I wanted to bowl like them. So I think it matters watching good bowling, and I know a lot of people a lot of kids watch Beat the Champ. And, it's good because it makes you strive to bowl better and to learn the game.
Jim, is your story a little bit the same there as well, too, coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, I started actually when I was about 10 years old at the State Lanes in Faulkner, that's just outside of Jamestown here. It's like a suburb, I guess you'd call it, if we're big enough for suburbs. But it's still there. It's still open, actually. It's one of they have a league there that's one of the oldest leagues in the country. And the little 8-lane center. And then I moved up to 10-pin lanes. When I was 16, that was a 16-lane center by the college, but now that's gone. The college owns the building. That's where I really learned how to bowl there. And, I was a junior till I was 19. Then I started bowling men's leagues kind of early because I was ahead of the game a little bit. I was averaging, well, compared to today's level, I was averaging around 200 when I was 17. And now that's.
Did you have a coach or a mentor when you were bowling?
Yeah, my coach when I was junior bowler at 10-pin was Jay Pachidi, and she was I got the basic instruction from her, but then I started watching. I'd come down and watch the classic leagues bowl at night. And
again, so it's the same thing. You watch bowling where people knew what they were doing and watched the ball roll up, and you just drive. PBA. I actually learned a lot from watching bowlers with excellent fundamentals like Brian Voss, or who is fundamentally perfect. And and I would watch it, and then I would want to go bowling and emulate it, and it taught me timing and a lot of that. And of course I have to credit Rory Summer a lot, because I think everybody needs a mentor and someone to ask questions of, and a pro shop person is important to ask too. And I used to come and ask Mike Haynes questions too, because I was at Town at the time, just what balls did, how they rolled. In those days it was top weight and side weight. It's obviously changed since then, and it's a little more complicated. But the more you get interested and the more questions you ask, it's good to have someone to answer those questions for you.
So I guess the question for both of you is, if we've got younger bowlers that are watching these matches, just like you guys watched Wide World of Sports Bowling back in the day, what kind of things can they take from the Mike Zarcones and the Tony Dolans and the Chuck Jagosinskis and all the great bowlers who, in their own level in Western New York, are the Earl Anthonys and of the world? What kind of advice can you give to them?
Well, don't you think that people pick a game that's closest to their own? Like a left-hander will watch a Pat Bricker and Tony Dolan, but it depends if one's straighter than the other. Pat has the armband on. He has it looks like a tattoo. In fact, someone asked me last time, and I didn't talk about this last time he was on the show because I did talk about it the first time, but he wears that compression sleeve, but it looks like a tattoo. So it'll be weird things it'll be something that attracts a bowler. A lot of times, though, it'll be a similarity in your game, right?
Right, definitely. I mean, try and find somebody that is like fundamentally solid. They have really good balance at the foul line, and they're consistent. And practice. Like when I was younger, I practiced almost every day. And now it's a little bit of a lost art. I mean, I'd say like in this town, I might know 5 people that practice a lot. 5. That's it. And everybody else just bowls a league or two and expects to average 2 to 220 and. It's just not like it used to be. It
doesn't happen unless you're working at your game.
Exactly.
And this is great for you and I to have this conversation because you're an owner, you're a proprietor, and obviously I'm involved in the bowling industry, not as an owner, but I think I'd like to hear your input on this. If a parent has a child who really has an interest in the game, go to your proprietor and talk to them and work out something for practice. I mean, I'm sure a proprietor would work with a young person who really had an interest in practicing and work out some kind of financial way so that they're not coming in and paying $5 a game every single time you want to bowl. I mean, if there's really a genuine interest, I know that a proprietor would back an up-and-coming bowler, don't you think?
Oh, no doubt. I'm probably more forgiving than most because obviously I'm a bowler. My son's a good bowler, and that's how he got good. Obviously, he didn't have to pay for practice, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, I do it all the time. I'm willing to, because it's just kind of a lost thing anymore. And if I see somebody interested in a game, I mean, I want them to succeed. Any way I can help, I'm going to do it.
And I think that's true of all proprietors.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
How are your leagues going here? Your leagues keeping you busy? You got I know based on the fact that we saw 6-year league bowlers pretty much here in the last 3 weeks, we know that the leagues are successful here, but you're right in the heart of the league season here, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I mean, it'll never be like a double shift thing like it used to be, but I don't think anybody has that anymore. But we do have a couple nights where we have a double shift where we have and they do the same thing in Buffalo. You do your doubles league at 5:30, then you bring in your regular shift. So I still count that as a double shift because we just change the time, that's all.
Right.
So we have that a couple nights a week. And, something pretty solid. I mean, I have a few lanes available during the week early, but not like crazy busy. And like I said, the restaurant has made up for a lot of the...
Right. And, we were here yesterday and we're here today, and you've had high school bowling going on both days, so that's a big part of what you're doing too, is helping the local high schools. And, you can probably hear it in the background here. There's a couple of high school matches going on down at the other end of the lanes here, and that's, I assume, a big part of what keeps this place humming too.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We have 4 high school teams that this is their home house. It'd be Jamestown, Southwestern, Randolph, and Faulkner. This is their home house, so yeah, and it's nice. I mean, keeps me busy in the pro shop too, and then they might come in to bowl, have a match, stay for dinner. So everything kind of works together.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do anyway.
Right. And Jim mentioned it very briefly. We can't recommend enough that if you're down in the area, to stop by and grab something to eat at the Game Time Sports Bar and Grill. The food's outstanding here, and it's a good atmosphere and a good place to catch a Sabres game or a Bills game on a Sunday. And even if you don't bowl or don't want to bowl, it's certainly worth your time stopping in as well too. So, and we thank you for all the hospitality. Myself and Sue and the crew have had a good time down here on our 2 trips down here in the last 6 months or so.
Well, we hope to have you back again this fall. So
absolutely. Just let's try to do it when there might not be 2 feet of snow either on the ground or already or on the way.
Well, we're talking October, and if it snows then, I'm moving. If we get 2 feet in October, I've had enough.
Well, that has happened once before, but let's assume that's not going to happen very often. So we got a good match here, Sue.
Yeah,
These two guys are battling their way through. Both Colton and Caleb are very impressive to watch. Both of them heading down the stretch here as they hit the 9th frame.
Just a 7-pin difference between the two of them with the handicap.
Yep.
See the look of determination on Caleb Piazza's face. Spare pickup attempt here. Yeah, gonna slide a little left on Caleb.
I saw a little traditional hand slap going on there. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're learning that from the guys they watch on TV.
No.
No?
But they do learn that in their high school bowling.
Right.
There's a good ball by Colton. Well, next up for us is we move the traveling Beat the Champ Roadshow back up to the city of Buffalo for next week's shows up at the Kearns Avenue Bowling Center. We're excited about a return trip to the Kearns Avenue Bowling Center, one of the oldest and historical bowling centers in all of Western New York. I assume you bowled there a little bit before, Jim, right?
I actually did. Actually, in the 80s, I was on the. I bowled the traveling league in Buffalo for a couple of years, and I was on that team actually, the ideal team, and we won the championship 1 out of the 2 years.
Who else was on the team with you? Remember?
My good friend Babe Conti from Fredonia, John Nowak, John Mazinski. We had a pretty good team.
John Mazinski just won in the Hall of Fame. We were there for that.
We had a really good team. That was a lot of fun. That was back when it was much tougher. I mean, there were some houses that still had some high-scoring reputations, but there were some houses that you oh boy, we got to go there this week, really? but that's what made you better. It's bowling on tougher stuff.
Right. So we know that Jamestown native and house bowler Terry Parson will be coming back as our returning champion for our first match next week, and we know what the lineup looks like for the rest of the bowlers, so we're excited about that. Every week we continue to raise the level of bowling here on Beat the Champ, and more competition makes for more exciting bowling. It's going to be tough to top our excitement level from our 3 weeks here in Jamestown, though, I'll tell you that.
Well, you can't ask for better matches, closer matches than we had here.
Yeah, not too many blowouts.
No, not at all. And at least two or three matches that came right down to the 10th frame, and we had some real excitement. Here's the final ball.
And I have to say, this match is no different going on right here in front of us.
That was the final one for Caleb to put up his final score. We're coming right down the stretch on here as well, too. So this has been a fun, exciting match also. And you can see the 165 on the board for Caleb. So let's see what Colton can do.
Oh, he needed all 3 strikes.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, he needed 2 strikes and 6.
He couldn't channel his inner Terry Parson to get 3 strikes in the 10th frame.
Yeah, Terry, he was sharp. He was sharp today. Threw it really well.
And it's always fun when we get a guy who's a little more of an area regional bowler like Terry. Now he's going to be up in the city bowling against some of the other big guys, and good chance for him to test his skills against those guys up there as well too. And we saw that with Matt White the last time we were down here. One of your regulars from Warren, PA, had won a bunch in a row here and then got up to Lockport and continued to win up there.
He's just a very good player, that guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see Matt over the past 3 weeks. He was otherwise occupied, but maybe when we're back in the fall, you can twist his arm and get him back here as well, too.
I'll make sure he's here.
Right. So we've wrapped up this one. It's a 165 to 146 victory for Caleb Piazza. We'll talk to Caleb and to Colton and wrap up this match when we return on Beat the Champ. Well, it's Caleb with the victory over Colton in our Junior Bowling Challenge, but Colton, I know both of you guys are winners. What is it that you enjoy so much about bowling?
Just having fun and doing what you can do and just have bowl with your friends and stuff.
Did you enjoy a little bit of the competition that went on here today?
Yes, I did. Me and him were congratulating each other and we were having a good time.
Well, that is exactly what we want to hear. That's the best way to be good sports in all this. And Sue, we got a budding young star here in Mr. Caleb, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a coach, someone to teach you how to bowl?
No, not really. I've been bowling on Saturday leagues every Saturday, and yeah.
Do you watch bowling on TV?
No, not really.
Well, man, you throw really, really good. You gotta keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Beat the Champ, Saturdays at 4 o'clock there, Caleb. That's how we'll get you watching on TV. Jim, you got a little hardware for the guys.
Buddy, nice job. Nice job. Colton, nice job, buddy. Good job.
All right, so these guys were fantastic. We thank them for being a part of our Junior Bowling Championship. Sue and I are here back to wrap up our stay in Jamestown when we return on Beat the Champ. Well, Janelle and Suey had a nice 4-week stay here in Jamestown. The Jamestown Bowling Company, a great host for us. We saw some outstanding bowling, some real drama, and we've got a terrific red-hot bowler in Terry Parson that's moving on next week to the Kearns Avenue Bowling Center.
I know, Jamestown made a new star, and we're going to come to Buffalo and see what he can do.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that as well, too. I know you're excited to take the scoreboard and all the work that you do on the road, or what are you looking forward to for next week?
Just going back to Buffalo, love being back in the city. It's awesome.
All right, so we're looking forward to another fun week, a month-long stay in the city at the Kearns Avenue Bowling Center. So we'll see you from the city of Buffalo next week on Beat the Champ.